going.
So we're let me just give you a recap of what we've seen today,
Yes,
and
sir.
then we can go forward from there.
This will be great for the audience too.
So in round one, we saw Cameron Hull, who was the top-rated player for BCC rating, with a dominating win in a Benoni. He was on the white side of a
Ah,
Benoni, and he got a dominating win. In round two, he played National Master Danny, and Danny played a King's Indian attack, and it was as quiet as can be possible game until the end, where it became a tactical shootout, and Danny ended up winning. In round three, we saw Alex Fikiet, National Master, play against Sam Sharf. There was a Nimzo, and Alex sacked the rook on G7 with a forced mate. And in the last round, we saw Danny versus Yoda. Danny made quick work, and we shifted over to board two to watch Alex Fikiet versus Alan, and Alex won a tactical shootout. So what we have now on in round five on board one, for all the cheese.
oh my, they're playing very fast, but board is not reading it right now. All right,
Okay.
they're about to clear it up right now.
They're about to clear it up. And we've been, actually, when we watched Alex and Alan play on board two, we didn't even have a board. We just watched the game. And we were
Okay.
still able to tell because they got cameras all over this place.
Oh, great. I wonder if they have Do they have an overhead cam?
We have the newspaper style.
Yeah. Oh,
Interesting.
this is a French. This is a French. Perfect.
We got a French expert. Okay,
Yes.
what's happening?
All right. So it seems like we went into the French. F6 is definitely an idea to crack at the center. Main idea that you really want to go for. All right. F6 C5 is the most potent ways to really crack at white's center. They play d5 to make you commit into that solid structure and making sure that those pawns do not move. As they usually say in chess, like pawns usually determine the structure and the game and how the game is going to go. And this seems like it's going to be a very positional kind of game.
Okay, so a lot of moves have been made very quickly here. So I think knight g7 has been made on the board.
So yeah, Danny is trying to remember some of his prep, I think. And right now,
Who do you favor in these types of positions?
well, one thing I could honestly say, it takes for white it's gonna take some time to untangle some pieces because that knight on d2 cannot move at the moment. The knight on d2 doesn't have any good squares. Okay,
And so this has been his plan to untangle.
all right.
Okay, so this dark square bishop is...
He's gonna probably try to trade off that knight for the dark square bishop. Pawns are on dark squares, and he'll have it at a double bishop pair advantage.
So where do you think white's going to put his dark square bishop?
I could see it either going to g5. I could see the bishop even heading to e3 eventually. But those are the two squares right now. I don't see it developing anytime soon. The light square bishop is like their biggest weapon.
So one of the challenges of developing the dark square bishop is if you do trade on c5, your c3 pawn is weak. So do you defend that pawn, either bishop b2 or bishop d2, or do you just say, I don't need that pawn, I need development? What do you think in a position like this?
I could see this becoming a position where that c3 pawn, there's pros and cons to it. Where if you keep it, at least it keeps that d5 pawn at bay. But then if you give it away, that d5 becomes a pass pawn. It could definitely be poisonous later on down the line.
So this is one of the potential trade-offs of white trying to get his pieces active by playing b4, is that he's left himself with what was a backwards pawn, which is now an isolated pawn, really weak on c3.
And take a look at like white's pawn structures. You got a lot of pawn islands here. You got a lone pawn on a file, c file, and the e file. 3 pawns connect. I like black's pawn structure not only because I'm a French biased here, but it's
We'll try not to hold that against you.
They're pairs here. Whereas like white's structure right now, there's a lot of weak points, but can black take advantage of those weak points? And it's gonna take some time. Like that light square bishop, we always say in the French that light square bishop is probably not gonna see the light of day for some time. But I could see it coming alive where it would reroute from d7 back to e8 all the way over to h5, and it usually does those long-term reroutes just like that.
Interesting. Is there ever an idea to try to reroute the bishop the other way? Like eventually move the b pawn and get it out, or is it just not?
Actually, yeah, in some lines you do push that b pawn to b6, or even sometimes b5, like maybe in a King's Indian attack, and you do develop the bishop on b7, and it becomes a really vital point to the kingside attack, and you move that d pawn out of the way, and that bishop becomes like a really crazy sniper.
So wait, am I crazy, or is there some like very easy idea to put the knight to g6, basically force white to trade the knight for the dark square bishop, and then you just have like a good position? Or am I not looking at the position correctly? Is there a skewer? There's a skewer in that line.
Yeah, so he couldn't. So he had to stop. He had to stop that a5 push, or else then he was gonna lose the bishop. 100%.
Well, you have to stop. You have to stop that. But then if you do play knight g6, then after takes, then you have bishop a3.
Yeah,
and you skewer the rook.
Yeah, so he definitely couldn't. The rook is definitely protected, at least for now, because the knight on e7 covers it. But say that knight wasn't there, somebody was dropping material.
Pew, pew, pew. All right. We've been playing a game where we try to isolate a position and then we predict the move. So it looks like white. White has played queen d3. What's black's next move here?
Black's next move, I could see it being bishop a3, and then it's gonna sit the bishop on d6. That would be my game plan for that bishop.
Okay. Interesting. So to do that, we need to move the b pawn, right? If we want to play bishop a6.
But then that c pawn is dropping.
Because this board's kind of weird. So white has already made a move.
Okay,
white already played queen d3. So black to move.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, still bishop a3. I'm still committing to that.
But what does black play?
Oh, black. Right. Very interesting. Knight going to f5, is that an idea? Knight f5 can be an idea, but I think since there is no threats happening, then now would be the time to get that game plan going of getting that light square bishop going.
I like it. So you're going to go bishop d7.
Bishop d7, and then if any problems are caused, then we're probably going to have to use our turn to figure out those problems, and then eventually we start to do that long-term reroute that I was talking about, where bishop d7, e8, then all the way to h5. If black could get rid of that light square bishop for maybe a knight, or even the light square bishop, they did solve one big problem. At least they've taken away one of white's attackers. They don't have to worry about it long term, and they can make sure that it's a much safer position to play. Plus, the knights are going to get active very easily. Look at how the position is going right now. So right now that knight, like I mentioned before, knight on e7 definitely can't move right now because he's threatening bishop a3. So can't move right now. But say the queen goes someplace else, I could see it going back to b6 maybe. I could definitely see it going back to b6 to kind of reroute once again. A lot of rerouting is going to be going on, maybe, unless someone gets really antsy and then just wants to push for that d4 break. But I don't think Danny is that type of person.
And also, the c pawn continues to be a target. Like if you compile up, get a few heavy pieces on the c file, at least you're going to distract white's pieces. Maybe the dark square bishop to guard it, maybe a rook, something like that. And then while that's happening, you can reroute your pieces.
Yeah, most definitely. And bishop d7 definitely supports that idea. You get that a rook going for black. Rook goes to cc8. targeting that c3 pawn. Knight all knight has to move is move away, and we start getting some pieces live now. Right now,
Queen
there's not a
b6.
lot of squares for it to go to. So yeah, queen b6, just as I mentioned. Okay, because there's no good squares for the queen to go to. There's no good squares. So it's probably going to have to reroute either back to c7. C7 is an idea to target that e-pawn because that e-pawn is actually looking very weak.
Yeah, and then Alex plays bishop a3. In some ways, that does defend the e-pawn.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. But I can see the rook going to f5, actually.
Oh.
Rook f5
Rook
can
f5.
be an idea, not only to target the pawn, but for maybe a future rook, double rook on that file.
Yeah. Rook f5, interesting idea.
Mm-hmm.
Because now the bishop was, I don't want to call it a beast, but it was protecting a lot of squares on that diagonal. Now you
Yeah.
put the bishop on the short diagonal, and all of a sudden the dynamics of the position are shifted.
Yeah, most definitely. And probably that bishop on a3 is going to sit right on d6. Is working its way to d6. Not only would it be watching some squares, but at least it'll be another defender for that e-pawn. That e-pawn is very essential for this position.
Holds everything together.
It holds everything together, keeps that bishop at bay. It makes sure the knights move. Oh, wait, rook f5.
Rook f5. Rook f5.
I'm almost a prophet. Like, come on.
So is this going to force bishop d6? Because I actually had another interesting potential intermediate idea, which was to play rook fb1.
Rook fb1. That can be an idea. That can be an idea to at least make sure it gives white some time to not move that, for black not to move that bishop and to get their pieces going in a certain direction.
It holds the bishop to the square because you can't play queen c7 because then you come in with bishop d6.
And worst case scenario, if white wants to start advancing, queen b5 is an idea. Could ask for a queen trade. Is not too bad in this position where go queen b5, queen trade, bishop goes to b5 as well. It could always move back to d3 and start targeting that rook.
Have you played either of these people over the board or online?
I've definitely played Danny. Alice Fikiet, I have never played him before.
Okay.
But Danny, I have played over the board.
What's his
several
style?
times.
How would you describe it?
I would say he's a very balanced player. Yep.
G4.
G4. Yeah, that's probably a move that I forgot about.
That is
but
bold.
It is a very known idea in the French for white. I forgot about that move. That move has caused me some trouble.
G4 and now your rook looks stupid.
Not necessarily, because now you start provoking some. Now, all right, you solved one problem, but you start to create a new problem for white.
Yes.
Where now king is starting to open up a little bit. You start to see some what I call air conditioning.
What does that mean?
That castled king doesn't have his pawns covering, and you got some airway now.
Some flow.
Yep, you got some air conditioning happening here. So
you know what it reminds me of? This is a crazy analogy, but like, yeah, you know, everybody once in a while, just like you're in a hurry, you maybe got to just do a quick thing, and you run out, you throw some shorts on, but you didn't put the underwear on, and then later in the day, you're kind of chilling, and you're like, damn, what's that breeze? That's the airflow. And that's what it's like when you're feeling a little naked. The king is naked. It doesn't have its pawns around him.
But it's not completely naked here. So at least he got his underwears on right now. he got his underwears on. He's just feeling the breeze right now.
He's feeling the breeze.
But there's no good square for the rook. So I could see it going back to...
It went to f4. So that's what this means on this weird analysis. He already moved it to f4.
Uh-oh. Okay.
I was worried about this.
He's going for the g4 pawn. Now I could see H. No.
There are tactics here.
Yeah. It's not very easy. Yep. Okay. H3.
Okay.
I was just about to say
You
that.
can't
but
take the A pawn.
I couldn't get the number in my head.
Actually, can you take the A pawn? Maybe you can.
A pawn. Okay. Knight G6. Okay. Nice. protect the rook. You start going after that e pawn.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and bishop d6. Just as I mentioned, it's another protector for that pawn.
Another protector on the pawn, and it's also, what do they call that? Wooden shield.
He brought the rook all the way to e4.
You don't really see rooks on outposts like this in the middle game.
No, you don't. But when you do see them, just know some people have some aggressive ideas.
So do you have to play rook fe1 here? Because
Rook
you need to do something with the light square bishop. I feel like you want to fianchetto
Yeah,
it.
the problem is there's not a lot of good squares for the rook to go to, but at least you get it active, you get it going, it starts to do something. You give the rook a job.
Yes.
So if white wants to start kind of poke at that rook and keep on, and maybe a better position for that knight. Yep, knight g5. I was just about to mention it. I was just
What's
about
the
to
idea?
mention it. So, idea, rook has to move, number one. Number two, that knight can't move on g6 as well, because now you're starting to threaten for checkmate. Queen h7 if that knight moves. So rook is definitely going to have to move. I could see it going to c4.
So give me a line. Give me a line.
I could see a rook going to c4, maybe back to f5. I mean, f4, I mean.
Okay.
And
c4 looks a little bit loose.
it is loose, but only two safe squares. There's only two safe squares here.
Right.
F4, C4.
And now you have to go back, and do you really want to go back to where you came from? This is an interesting move. Do you think Danny saw knight g5 when he decided to put the rook on e4?
Maybe he did, but the problem is it's a little bit hard to start keeping that rook safe. That rook is way too far out. I think he probably should have taken some time to get the pieces going. Like right now, Alex Fikiet is doing great. I think this is not completely winning, but this is definitely a winning position for white, and it's much easier to play for him. Whereas black, they still have some problems to solve. That bishop hasn't moved yet.
Yeah.
Rook on a file has not moved yet. White has all their pieces active, all their pieces going. Everyone, like I said, everyone has a job, and they're doing something.
I talked to Danny in between the fourth round and this round, and I said, "Hey, how do you feel about, you're in contention. You're going to play the top board in the last round." He said, "I'm a little nervous." He knows that Alex is a strong player, and he knows that Alex is a strong national master, who definitely has the potential to take down much stronger players. And Danny was a little bit, uneasy about how he's feeling. Do you think that's coming across in his play a little bit?
It may be where okay.
Whoa,
Goes
he's
after
going
that
for
e pawn. He goes after that e pawn. Okay. Bishop takes. Knight is probably gonna take.
Queen g3.
Queen g3. Is that an idea?
Queen g3. Rook takes. Oh no, you can't wait.
No, knight. No, knight is probably gonna take back on e5. Because the knight got some good squares. Plus, it keeps that light square bishop at bay.
Yeah, queen g3 doesn't work. But I feel like you don't want to give up the dark square bishop here.
You don't.
But you have to, because it's hanging otherwise.
Yeah, you want to keep the dark square bishop because it. Well, actually, no. You're okay with giving up this dark square bishop because the pawns are on light squares mostly. The main structure is on light squares. So right now, black is up a pawn. He's doing okay. Okay, now he's starting to poke at.
Ooh.
He's starting to poke at. Oh wait, I could see a piece dropping.
He
sacked the queen for the exchange.
See, we thought that. So knight g4 didn't work then.
Uh-oh. This is no good. No good. But still doesn't get black out of the woodworks. You got to start getting some pieces active. Bishop still can't move. Bishop still can't go to d7, or else that's free real estate right there.
Free real estate.
Mm-hmm.
That knight's good where it is.
Yep. So white is going for the so he's right now he's going to be depending on his piece activity advantage. So I could see f4 being played right now, maybe f4. Right now, you don't care about that c pawn.
Yeah,
You're
C
not gonna.
pawn's dropping.
Yeah, if the c pawn drops, that's okay.
F4
Okay, I
does
could
it.
see queen c
Queen
queen
C5.
c5 check, and then goes after the c3 pawn. That's okay, because now that f rook is gonna have some place to go. Okay, now he's starting to get some pieces developed. He has to get some pieces developed.
Yeah.
So now that reroute that I was talking about before is never happened. It should have been done earlier. I would say that. If he had the time, it should have been done earlier. But now, the only good square that I could see it going to is c6. That's the only good square. There's no other good square for it.
Yeah.
And then the rook, at least you got some files to work
Oh, he
with. You got
sacks the
that.
A pawn.
Sacks the a pawn. Yep, he's favoring activity right now. But it's not a sack because then at least he gets the b pawn back. But now he starts to dig into that back rank there. He starts to dig into that back
Do you think
rank.
we'll see that, or do you think we'll see something chiller like bishop c6, as you recommended first?
Bishop c6. I could see bishop c6, and then if white takes with knight, then you start to fix the pawns. Okay,
Ooh,
yeah,
b6.
you don't want that rook to get back there. So black is gonna start trying to get his pawns into the dark squares. Right now, the long-term game plan: get the pawns on dark squares, make sure that bishop has no targets. The bishop could wiggle around the pawns at least, but you don't want any targets. The knight is going to be taking care of the dark squares. The bishop is going to be taking care of the light squares.
Yeah, black's position is quite comfortable. Because even though white has more pieces, he has more pieces, right, that he can attack with.
He has more pieces.
They can't really get to the king in any sort of court. I mean, you would really need in this position to have rooks on the 7th to have some sort of attack here.
Bishop c2. Poor K. Oh, okay. Just protecting the a pawn. Okay, I get it. Simple ideas don't come easy to me. All right, rook f3. And they have plenty of time. They have plenty of time
Yeah.
to figure these things out. Oh,
Yeah, you got to push the pawn, right?
yeah, D. I did mention this break earlier with d4.
Yep. Ah, okay, so he's tactically defending it.
That pawn is gonna drop. Yep, that pawn is definitely gonna drop.
But you can't take it back. You can't play rook takes. If you play rook takes,
Rook take, queen take. No. Where would the queen go? After rook takes on d4.
I'm trying to find some way to make this work where
Doubling up on the d file is definitely an idea. I see white doubling on the d file because that d7 bishop is a target.
yeah.
Like the queen is gonna be a target, but it's gonna be a skewer for that bishop.
Yeah. I guess you can play rook takes.
Yeah, Daddy nods his head, and he's not liking the position right now. He's not liking it right now.
This light square bishop is helpful in this structure though. The light square bishop is, I mean, at any point he's happy to trade pieces, right? Or would you disagree?
I'm sorry, I was paying attention to Danny's reaction, because he's starting to make some facial expressions. I'm trying to figure out what he's thinking. I know he was just nodding his head, and maybe he saw something, maybe he wasn't liking it too much. Now he's definitely focused. He perked up on his chair, definitely focused. Alex Fikiet, he's very calm right now.
Very calm. It looks like his heart is beating at 60 beats per minute. He doesn't even look like he's sweating at all. He's blinking slowly.
You've had experience against playing against Alex, right? What's his persona like?
This. What you see. I mean, I've seen him come back from so many positions like this where
So he favors these kind of like offbeat positions.
He's extremely strong tactically. He's not the type of person who's like super studying openings or um, when you play in a tournament with him, because we played a couple team tournaments together, you
Mm-hmm.
look to board one, he's playing Carissa Yip or he's playing like Fishbind, someone like strong. This is the position you see. And 50-50, he's coming out with the win. So
50-50 is good odds for something like this. I'll always take them.
yeah, I mean, things can happen, especially in rapid chess, right?
Yeah, and Rapid, I mean, Alex Fikiet, he still has so much time, but Danny, he's put a lot of investment, and I get it. Like right now, with the way the position looks, Danny can't really afford to like make a bad move here.
Yeah.
One bad move and everything starts tumbling apart. So far, I think it's still a three decision kind of game, but
Yeah. But okay, so this question though of trading pieces, like, does black usually when you're up material you want to simplify the position,
mhm.
but it's kind of weird when it comes to that rule because the types of pieces and where the pieces are really matter a lot.
Yes.
So do you think black wants to trade pieces or do you think that favors white?
It's hard to say because the pawn like black's pawns they're starting to like become starting to slam the brakes on them. Let me put it that way. White is starting to slam the brakes on the pawns. Now they're starting to not become a factor. They're just for structure. They're not there to like really be involved in gameplay. And
He shook.
uh-oh.
Rookie 3 is a mentally challenging move.
What can you do about it? It's just like, go ahead, take my rook. I take your queen. What are you gonna do about it? Can't do nothing.
Can't do nothing and you're up material.
And he's starting to target that e pawn. He's starting to
He's
target black's e
slowly.
pawns. Yeah, just like you mentioned, he's starting to like configure something with his pieces, and they're coordinating very well.
My question is, what do you do with White's light square bishop? Because I feel like at some point you are gonna have to move it off of the square that it's on. But
B3 is an idea.
B3.
Bishop e3 will become an idea. You start to target that e pawn. King is on that same diagonal as well. So maybe some future checks start to force the king to go to another square. It's a tempo. It's an indirect tempo. You're not necessarily attacking like a strong piece or the king, but you're gonna force a piece to move to prevent some threats. Now, pins is starting to become a big thing here. Wait.
I don't think he made a move. I think that was a glitch. Tucker, do you know if he made that move Queen A3? Okay.
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 Okay. So we're gonna have to go based off of visuals right now.
Yeah.
But I
But it
think
looks like it's still black to move.
I think Queen A3 was the last move that was played because if rook is on E3.
Oh, he just
then-
moved. He just
yeah.
moved Queen A3.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, he thought about it. Queen A3. Yeah.
Oh, maybe he picked it up, hovered it, and brought it back.
Yeah,
And then moved it.
wanted to be sure about the move. Okay. I think. Okay, rook can maybe take.
Rook takes pawn, bishop takes A4.
Bishop takes a4. Do things happen?
Oh, wait, rook takes pawn. You also have queen C.
No,
Queen C1.
bishop can't take the a pawn because the rook is also guarding the a pawn too. So you got bishop and rook defending.
What about queen C1?
Queen c1, is that a move? Yes, it is a move because I lose the bishop. Bye bye bishop.
Okay, so
he doubled up on the d file. Now we're starting to potentially see some mate threats.
oh, his back rank threats.
Yes, that knight is covering that f square right now. So king.
Oh, but if the queen gets to second rank, then white or black is having their own mate threats. It's hard to break through, but there is some idea.
I think white would be okay with giving up that bishop. for that mate threat because white will have that first move. Can they? Wait, no. Bishop. Wait, queen a2. Rook take d4. Queen take bishop.
No, that's mate.
Rook d8.
Yeah, you're getting checkmated. Black's getting checkmated.
No. Bishop. No, bishop e8 is a move. It's not mate, but black does lose material. Black loses material, and he will lose the rook for the bishop. And I think, yeah, no, can't take back.
So what's
the bishop.
that line? Let's look at that line again. So
okay, so queen a2, threatening bishop.
how about queen b2?
Queen b2. Queen b2 is a move too. Yeah, queen b2. Just as long as you're attacking the bishop, maybe it makes a huge difference. Rook take pawn, queen take bishop, rook d8 check, and then bishop has to go back to e8 in order to defend the mate. Okay, now he has to close down. Yeah, he has to close down that file. He sees the mate threats. Things are looking good. But then wait,
Whoa.
is c4 a move?
Oh my gosh.
C4 is a move.
I think he blundered c4.
I think
you do have a little bit of time because you can threaten the bishop, but it doesn't last.
Yeah, no. The c pawn starts to become a pass pawn. E pawn is falling down. Yeah, c5 pawn c4 is a move.
Wait. So this is kind of crazy. C4,
C4,
queen b2,
queen b2,
rook 1 d2,
rook 1 d2. Yes.
pawn takes. Oh, I'm sorry. That line doesn't work. Oh, but this is we're getting this. We're getting this.
Yep.
And then
okay, queen b2. So
rook 1 d2.
Rook 1 d2. I don't think we will worry about the bishop unless rook takes. If rook takes, that's when things become. Yeah, no. I think he's gonna have to cover that up because then I could see queen. No, bishop b3. Bishop b3 is a move.
Bishop b3.
Bishop b3.
Bishop b3 blunders mate.
Oh no. Oh yeah, you're right. See simple things I don't see.
Oh, but he goes rook 3 d2. I wonder why, because now he's not threatening to take the pawn.
No, he's threatening the check, the discovery check. He's threatening the discovery. So yeah,
I didn't even see it. Look, he shakes his head.
Yeah, so he's definitely losing that bishop. If bishop takes, then
oh my gosh,
bishop take on h7 check.
Wow.
Queen is not moving. It's gonna sit there and say goodbye to the queen.
Confusing the audience and Danny as he shakes his head and puts his hand on his chin. That's the expression I've been making all game is this, because I don't know what's going on, and Danny just made that expression. So last time we said he made a blunder, he actually got the advantage in the position, so we're going to see what he cooks up here.
Wait. Okay, so he goes queen c3. I think he wants to start poking at the king, going for checks. So he may lose that bishop, but he's going to start poking for some checks here. So this is going to be a very big decision here.
F4
Does he take the bishop and start to accept some of these checks? Because this is going to become a big thing where like black is going to start poking around, trying to collect some pawns and start getting the pawns rolling. These pawns had the brakes slammed on them for some time.
This is a highly stressful position to be in for
And
both
looking at the
players.
clock right now, we got Danny for 2 minutes and Alex for nearly 6 minutes. So Alex still has some time to figure out what to do here.
So do you still think that? Oh wait, I'm so wrong because you can't even play rook 1 d2 in that position because queen goes to the back rank and then it goes to h1.
That is an idea.
That would have been an issue. And then you just check, eat the pawns. At least you could eat one pawn.
No, but rook d3 would have been there. No, rook d3. The
Rook
F
d3,
pawn,
but the king goes in front of it.
F pawn would have fallen though, because the F pawn is not guarded at all.
Yeah, F pawn. And still, you might be. I mean, you could get mated in that structure.
Random question: what do you name your F pawn? I've been hearing. Okay, so this was a big debate with some instructor. One of my other instructors that I work with. So he names his pawn Fred. He's old school guy.
Okay.
He names his pawn Fred. I call it Frankie. What do you name?
Okay,
your
so
pawn?
I don't name anything except for the bishops.
Okay.
Who
Who names their bishops?
Okay, so here's the thing. Like, you know how in your head you just make connections with things?
Okay, so sorry, there was moves
Check.
happening. Yeah, he's gonna start poking.
Okay, he's gonna win a pawn.
It's gonna win a pawn. So you're Danny is stressing
Oh,
here.
but wait. You can't take that. Can you take the H pawn? I don't think you can take the H pawn that easily. Because you have rook H2, bishop takes H7.
Oh yes.
Okay, so he takes the F pawn instead.
Yeah, the F pawn is definitely a vital one. At least you start to kick the knight around, and that D pawn is definitely gonna fall.
This is... What's the material count here?
So we're talking 6 pawns for black. Now it's gonna be 4 pawns for white. 2 rooks. Okay. So if we do some math.
White is a material.
So got 25 points in material for black, counting queen and rook. If I did my math correctly, did we? No, we did not. I don't know math. It's 20. It's 20 pawns.
Yeah.
It's 20 points.
So it's equal material then.
Yes.
Equal material, but not all material is equal.
Yeah. So that's why I said piece activity is definitely okay. So he's threatening the fork.
Yeah.
He's threatening the fork for the rook and the king. A lot of piece activity. Queen
Check.
Queen f3 check. Okay, maybe go for another check on f4 if you're trying to buy yourself some time.
Yeah, I mean, it matters because you get 10 seconds every move.
Yeah, he's probably gonna try to buy himself some time.
Players should repeat.
Oh wait, yeah. I think he's gonna buy himself some time with queen f4 first. Readjust the queen to maybe a better square.
Alex looks so relaxed. There's no way I would be this relaxed if this was my game.
This is the kind of guy you want to sit in poker with.
He's a poker player.
Yeah. Oh, see, he's been working on that. I know he's been working on that poker face for some time. Okay, rook. So he doesn't care about the check. The check doesn't really do anything, but at least tucks the king in.
Yes.
But
can't play pawn takes.
He does want to start keeping white's pieces busy.
Bishop or knight takes. I kind of like knight takes. Just get the knight off that diagonal.
All right, a little bit of a wild idea. What if he doesn't take the pawn later on? Oh wait. Yeah, what if he doesn't take the... Oh, like, what if black doesn't take the pawn on d5 and he pushes?
Okay, so it is...
Oh, no, he took the pawn on...
Yeah.
Okay. So, black's position is starting to fall apart. Black's position is definitely starting to fall apart.
Because if you play pawn takes d5, then you might actually have a really good square for the knight on f5.
And keep in mind, if queen...
And you're threatening all sorts of forks.
So, knight takes on d4, queen takes on d5, bishop b3. And we start to see that diagonal being compromised.
Yeah. That's not a great looking position for black, I don't think.
Yep, I think Alex is just like you mentioned. He's starting to razzle dazzle the position here.
I can't play like this and also be this stone cold with no expression. Alex has moved like 6 inches from here to here.
Meanwhile,
that's all we've seen.
Meanwhile, Danny is trying to like figure out his life plans here.
Oh, is he going for? But there's no perpetual.
There is no perpetual. Where does the queen go for another check?
Nada.
There is no other checks right now.
Okay, what? Wait.
So he's trying to kick the knight from the f3 square. I kind of see.
Okay, but knight e6.
Knight e6, yeah. No, he went knight f. So he's disconnecting the rook from the queen.
But why not knight e6 though?
Why not knight e6? Because then he could unravel his rook and queen. So queen will go f3 check. Tuck the king in a little bit more, and then you get the rook into action.
Oh,
I
okay.
think this is a much better plan where he's disconnecting the rook from the queen, discoordinate them,
Push the
and
pawn.
D pawn is gonna go flying right now.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Dang.
D pawn is gonna go flying, and even right now, is there any more checks? There's no checks.
No.
No checks at all.
He's cruising.
Uh-oh.
No, this is fine. No.
G6?
This doesn't matter.
Where's he
No,
going?
This is bad for black.
Oh, wait. Bishop
You
B3?
put the knight anywhere.
Bishop B3 first? Maybe? See? No.
Oh, bishop e3 threatening rook f2.
Si, senor.
Or rook f1.
Maybe.
Okay, so the king is going to go to h8 then.
Yeah, rook goes, king goes to H8. Completely fine.
King h. Oh, but no. That's. Oh, but
Oh,
now
wait.
you're threatening.
Okay, so wait. Bishop B3, king H8, then rook F2. Oh,
And he
wait.
resigns.
He resigned?
He resigns.
What? Yeah, no, there was... He was
Wait,
down,
Danny resigned, right?
He was down on time. Did somebody flag? Wait, they're checking the clock. I could see that being a possibility where black did run out of time. I could see that being a possibility because Danny was so invested in it. He was so invested.
Yeah.
Alex, he's just poker facing it right through, and he's just like,
He
I'm
found
calling
a
her.
series of strong moves there.
Yeah, but that's the thing in chess. Like I remember who mentioned this. It was Master that I was speaking to where he mentioned it's much easier. It's not about like winning position or losing position. It's about what's easier. What's easier to play. And even Fabiano Caruana, he had like a podcast where he was talking about this, where it was just like, it's not about the winning position so much. Yes, you do consider this, but high level play, and this is high level play here. We're talking about two masters who hit 22 plus. So, like, what's easier to play? And right now, white had the easier gameplay. Black is not so much. Like I said before, one answer only. You only got one answer, and if you don't find it, everything starts to fall apart.
That was I think if you showed that position to random people at this tournament, so people who play chess, and they said who's winning, I think
They may
95% of people are picking black.
they're gonna choose black, but then it's like you gotta consider those piece activity. Like you remember earlier, the bishop and that rook wasn't in the game already. White's
Yes.
pieces, all his pieces were active. They were doing something. They had a job. Everyone is going.
And we see the two players, Danny and Alex, talking about
Yeah, they're discussing it right now.
what happened, and
Kind of reminiscing. Danny's reminiscing on his life decisions here. He's just like, I don't know what I did wrong.
okay, so why
No.
don't you keep people entertained for 2 minutes? I'm gonna see if they want to come in and kibitz the game themselves.
Yes, no
Okay.
worries. Yeah. So right now, still Alex, and Alex still has that same expression as earlier. I gotta get to know this guy. So I'm guessing Danny probably ran out of time here and ran into time troubles. And I remember just having a chat with Danny right before I came into the booth here. He doesn't really like these fast time formats, and he was saying like rapid still doesn't seem like a lot of time, where 15 plus 10, it seems like a lot, and it's so easy to gain that. It's so easy to gain that time back, but it just flies so much, and I could feel why Danny feels that way, because you get so invested into the position, you get immersed into what's going on, and you start to lose track of everything around you. So I think, let's see, yeah, Danny probably agreed to come in the